The internet is arguably one of the greatest sources of information to our society today. It offers us enhanced learning opportunities in the classroom, instant access to news and entertainment around the world, and connectivity to our peers that far exceeds any other medium. It's a resource that over 3 billion people use every day. Over 84% of Americans use the internet. In February of 2015, there was a push to make the internet a public utility, like electricity or water. This push was sparked by controversy over Internet Service Providers, or ISP's, ability to restrict access to certain websites. This was also known as paid prioritization, or Internet fast lanes. These ideas, however, would obstruct what's been deemed as net neutrality, or equal access to the internet. Tom Wheeler, the Federal Communications, or FCC's chairman, changed the laws in 2015 and reclassified the internet as a telecommunications service under Title II of the Communications Act of 1934. This set some ground rules for ISPs to follow from then on. They called this ruling the Open Internet ruling. With so much talk over the internet, some might wonder, why do a staggering 46 million Americans not use the internet? It could be a number of factors such as lack of infrastructure, cost, and a disregard for it completely. As it turns out, those living in rural areas are twice as likely as those living in urban or suburban settings to never use the internet. Over 2 million households in Texas do not have internet. In fact, East Texas is one of the densest regions in Texas that has discrepancies in its access to broadband internet. It should be noted that broadband internet only qualifies as such if it meets the 4 to 25 megabits per second download speed, as stated by the FCC. Here's a better explanation.
Internet is usually measured through upload and download speeds. The most common one that you'll see is megabits per second, which is basically how much information can travel to your computer per second. The download speed will affect the things that you stream, how long it takes to load websites, so the higher it is, obviously the better. Stephen F. Austin State University is very fortunate because they have a line that transfers 10 gigabits per second, which is 10,000 megabits per second, from Houston. It's a fiber optic cable, which is one of the fastest means of transferring information in today's digital age.
As you can see from this map on connectedtexas.org, large portions of East Texas have 0.06 to 8.49% of households per square mile without access to broadband internet. Some smaller areas show 85% without access. Albeit, there may be fewer total households in these areas, and thus a bigger percentage won't have access, but the point still stands. Are these households affected by not having internet? These households may struggle with affording broadband as shown by average income in East Texas from 2012 to 2013, estimated by the US Census.gov website. With many counties only showing $30,000 to $45,000 a year in their median household incomes, finding the extra money to spend on broadband, which many still don't consider a necessity, might be difficult. One of the biggest concerns from a lack of internet in today's modern age is a missed opportunity for students. That is, enhanced learning opportunities. Services and social media sites like GroupMe, Facebook, YouTube, and a vast collection of materials and organizational apps have proven in studies to benefit students, plus teachers, learning and progress in classrooms. This map shows that 20 to 30% of East Texas's population is under 20 years old. The typical ages for grade school and up are 5 to 18. So, how many students exactly aren't getting access to internet at home? Should this be concerning? The most likely answer is not yet, but in January of 2014, over 60 East Texas schools were designated as underperforming campuses by the Texas Education Agency. Considering that the age of the internet is still relatively new, the near future may not see many troubles. However, unless a digital divide is closed soon, it can only get wider. The problem at its roots isn't just money, but also lack of infrastructure. In Nacogdoches, for example, one of the only providers to provide cable internet to residential homes is Suddenlink. In Angelina County, they do have fiber internet, which is usually much faster. Consolidated Communications, however, only offers up to 3 to 20 megabits per second, starting at $17 a month. For comparison, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where they provide municipal internet, or internet paid for through taxes throughout the city, you can get 1 gigabit per second download speeds. That's 1,000 megabits per second for $70 a month, which is an astounding 14 megabits per second per dollar, instead of a lousy 3 megabits per second per $17. Internet here in East Texas could be cheaper. However, providers need more competition to justify changing their prices and upgrading their infrastructure. A professor here at SFA believes technological advances will make upgrading much easier to do in the future.
Well, there's technologies we keep seeing on the horizon that are going to do things like, right now the range for wireless is measured in meters and feet. Technology of the future is going to be measured in miles and maybe even tens and 20s of miles. That changes things. You can put an antenna up where people get wireless access 50 miles away. It doesn't take many antennas to cover a geographical area.
This municipally owned internet that Chattanooga has can only be a dream right now for Texas cities. According to FCC.gov, the state of Texas prohibits municipalities and municipal electric utilities from offering telecommunication services to the public, either directly or indirectly through a private telecommunication provider. So no matter how much anyone wants to treat the internet in Texas as a public utility, there will have to be a change in law before it can be recognized. This has been Tristen Rouse with East Texas Explorer.